My name's Tina Rothery. I'm a local Blackpool resident, part of the anti-fracking movement out of necessity because I'm a grandma.
My name's Sally, and I'm spending a lot of time at the moment protesting against the fracking site on Preston New Road.
My name's Darren. This is New Hope Camp on Preston New Road in Blackpool.
I stand with a group called the Nanas, but we're under Frack Free Lancashire. But in the end, the most important role I play is, I think, as an independent, autonomous activist. I take the actions that I think will defend my grandchild. If I did any media work, it would say underneath my name, environmental lobbyist, climate campaigner, eco-warrior. And I know that at home, if I saw that on the telly before that, I thought, oh, that's nothing to do with me, and I'd have tuned out. Whereas what I really wanted to have happen was that they said, deeply concerned grandmother, fearing for her grandchild's safety. But you can't have that as a name, but Nana is. So a group of us, probably about 26 of us, got together. Most had already become aware of fracking and were preparing to fight back, but had never been activists. So we formed a group, called ourselves the Nanas. Now every time I do media, it says Nana, and then everyone at home goes, I got one of them, or mine was a demon. You couldn't really get her off the sofa unless it was really important, you know. And everyone has an image of a Nana, but it makes you more human. You hope that relates better. I was in grandma duty, and so I'd just taken her with me to a meeting, and I did my little bit at the front, and when I'd finished I went back to her, and she's a little 6-year-old at the back of the room, and I said, oh, sorry it took so long, darling, are you okay? What did you colour to show grandma? And she didn't. She'd written the story of fracking and drawn illustrations and got it, you know, she just got it. And yeah, so she was my little activist, but she's 12 now, and she's there. She's overtaken me, and the saddest part of my heart is I don't know when that happened, because I missed. She was with me for a lot, but I mean, she goes to school, you know, so, and then all of a sudden I look around, I'm like, flipping hell, all those fun bits. I know she's got a mum, and, you know, growing up, but I was loving that bit, asking her questions you can only ask of kids and stuff, you know, and so I lost that. I gave up my career. I have no job anymore. My last client left in November. I write copy for websites. I used to have a nice car and have my legs waxed and lunch with the ladies and drink wine, and yeah, but how do you work? You have to reprioritize your life. Do I safeguard my grandchild's future, or do I earn some money? But I have a community and I have a life with huge purpose and an obligation that I can't leave. You know, people say, well, take a break. What? How do you take a break from obligation? To walk away, to me, would be criminally neglect. But it is hard, you know. All the things you used to rejoice about or hope for and dream of in your life, and the plans you had for holidays or frivolity. Frivolity is the first sacrifice, you know, and you can't do anything else once you're in, you know, because going home means what? I'm going to leave it to a bunch of other nanas or a couple of really, you know, driven direct action activists from the camp who are amazing and get arrested constantly. But you can't go on like that. And the only way that we solve anything, and the only way I've ever seen anything solve, is when the most diverse group of people form a circle and talk. And that's when change and ideas come, and that's when we cooperate and work our way of fighting. You lose a lot, but you gain a lot, you know.
I was involved, that there were some planning applications for building houses that came in our village, and up until then I didn't really know anybody in my community. And I got involved because leaflets came through the door asking people to go and talk about what was happening and whether they were happy for this development, which is doubling the size of our village, and it's on countryside. And guess through that I've got to know people in the community and the councillors and what have you. And through that, really, there's been discussions about what's going on about fracking. Otherwise, if I hadn't have got involved in understanding about the council and looking at planning applications, I probably wouldn't have known that this was going on. I saw my life in this area, in this house, living the rest of my life here, and I loved it. I love it. And all of a sudden something came along to threaten that. I took early severance from work to spend time with my husband, and I would say the last 3 or 4 years, both of us, thankfully he also doesn't like any of this stuff that's occurring, fracking or housing or whatever, but we would be spending a lot more time with doing things together. We do this together, which is great, but going on holiday maybe and just having more fun together, because once you know what's going on with fracking and what's going on around it, you can't kind of unknow it, so it affects everything that you do. So I think we've given up having what I would say a normal life, really, to try and stop this. I would say that as a resident, as a local or a normal person, standing at Preston New Road and trying to do something to protect the community that I live in, I'm proud that I do that, and it's a very responsible thing to do. But it is intimidating, it is quite scary, because clearly the police are facilitating Guyler to build the site, because this is what the government wants. Lancashire is known as a foodie area, and we pride ourselves in having great food. Some of it's organic, and we're serious risk here of contamination. I certainly wouldn't feel comfortable drinking the water or the milk or eating any food from this area if the fracking does go ahead. It really does concern me with the wildlife in that area. We have a lot of migrating birds, and it really does worry me on that site. All of this area of the Fylde is fantastic for wildlife. Fracking is it's been proven in America, in Australia, that it completely destroys everything that's living around it. And I just think it needs to be stopped. Fossil fuels should be kept in the ground. We need to be looking at renewable energy. I think the biggest thing as well with all this is the water. We know what's happening in other countries with Nestle taking the water. Water will be the commodity that everybody wants, because you can live without oil, but you can't live without water. Water is life. But really concerned for my community, and concerned for, I don't have children of my own, but concerned for my godchildren, for my stepchildren, and just for the future of the earth, really, and making sure that we keep it in a state that is good for generations to come.
All we're doing is we're establishing a camp by building communal areas, buildings. We've got a fully functional kitchen that we've built from all donated building materials such as pallets, doors, roofing joists. And it's the community really that's given us the camp as it stands at the moment. What I do mostly around here at the minute is on camp is getting us established so that we've got working toilets, composting toilets. We have filtration systems in for different kinds of bodily waste and stuff. We've got an auger fitted in the kitchen now, so that's fully functional. We have solar panels running and electric connected. And the next thing that we're looking to do is build welcoming areas for the public, a nice seating area with information on the walls about why we're here, how long we could be here, the effects of what we're doing on the local community, and also the effects that the fracking is going to have on the local and wider community of the Northwest Basin. Because if this frack is to go ahead and get to completion and is successful, it will open the doors for fracking in Lancashire, and there'll be hundreds, if not thousands, of wells in the Lancashire Basin. So really the reason for us being here and the existence of this camp is to protect all the local people and the wider ranging world, because if we can stop this here and prove that it can be stopped through whatever means we have to use to do that, then other people will take that on board and hopefully run with it. This land, even when we came on it to check it out, had a good feeling about it. And as soon as we put the first tent up, the people that were here, the first night, we all sat around the fire, and there was a lot of people I'd only just met, and some other people had known other people from other camps, but we were close straight away. I mean, yeah, you have disagreements like any family does, but we'll sit down and have a meeting at the end of the day. We go through it, we come up with resolutions, wipe your chin, move on, next day is fresh. So it's better community here than you get outside of the camp. Community has all been segregated by government to stop us coming together to fight bad decisions that are forced on us by the people that we're supposed to have voted into power. So I do go home maybe 2 nights a week and see the girlfriend and kids and pay bills and stuff you still have to do. But this is home and will be for however long it takes. It's improved my family life. In fact, My stepchildren have just arrived. My girlfriend's just arrived. They come and stay at weekends. The kids don't want to be trapped in a house anymore since they've spent time on here. They've learned how to do things. They've learned old ways of making fire without matches or a lighter or just turning the gas hob on. They've learned how to select wood for fires that you can burn properly and gives you good heat or light. They're learning how to put tents up. They're learning how to cook outdoors. They're learning skills we should all have. So all it's done is brought us all closer together. Just one last thing to say is anybody is welcome at this camp. Anybody at all. If you're for fracking, come down and talk to us. Hopefully we can educate each other a little bit on things. Sharing the skills like that way as well, sharing information, people get to know what's going on. Because the government don't want you to know what's really going on. They want you to say yes and just let it happen. Now's the time to stand up and stop.